Good morning. It's a really beautiful day as always. Um, had a really beautiful ceremony last night and then hung out with the powerful full moon. And I'm just back here at my altar space. I let charge. And I want to talk today about water. Water. Um, so, vibrational water. Water is medicine. And our bodies are made of 70% water, and as soon as I learned any energy practice, they always told me afterwards, drink a lot of water, because water flushes your system. It helps energy move through your system. So the first thing in the morning we should do is drink a lot of water. Some people say 2 liters of water, and sometimes it helps to do an intermittent fast where you only have liquids until maybe noon or 1, or when you're absolutely ridiculously hungry. Then you start eating and have things like lemon and maybe put some superfoods in the lemon. Right now I'm having a chaga tea with apple cider vinegar, lime, and raw honey, and it's really delicious. And so a really important thing about water is the quality of water. And I recently learned about distilled waters. Recently, as in almost 3 months ago. So within tap water, there's a lot of things like chlorine, aluminum. Here in the US, there's fluoride, and all sorts of other stuff that really add up, and they calcify your pineal gland, they calcify bones, and do all sorts of weird things to your tissues, and it creates this kind of brain fog. And I had these, my first experiences with the power of water weren't with only distilled water, it was with crystal elixirs, which I have some of right here. So this crystal elixir, can you see? Yeah, there. Is the energy of rose quartz, amethyst, and a clear quartz cluster. And I'll just drink this. Ooh. And you can actually taste a pretty powerful difference after the waters were charged with the crystals. So why distilled waters? Because it doesn't have any of these trace things in it. And also, even in the countryside, in a lot of places in the US, because of things like fracking, and the pesticides used in conventional farming, that stuff seeps into the water, and people get sick from it. And I can taste the difference in the water. And vibrational water, like, we can tune the vibration into our water, and sometimes I really tuned into the tap water I would get in Philadelphia, and I would clear it, and it would feel like all these little things are like cracking in the water as I prayed over it and sent energy into it. And the water didn't affect me as much, but it took a little while for me to actually clear that water, and it still didn't taste good. The last time I was in the city, I wasn't drinking distilled water for a couple of days, and I was always dehydrated. After drinking distilled water for 3 months, for some reason, didn't buy it, or I had to drink so much juice because I didn't feel like I drank anything after I drank a glass of filtered water through a fake filter system like Brita or something. And people often don't really drink very much water because they don't enjoy water, because they're not getting hydration from the tap water. And when we don't have ourselves adequately hydrated, we're not tuned into the subtle energies. We can't possibly open up spiritually without being hydrated because our cells are just not there. So water is so important. We're made of water. And as you can see, I take a sip of this vibrational water and things change. So I highly recommend, if you can get a water distiller, that will take a lot of things out of your water. And I buy distilled water at the stores because it comes in big gallons, and it's obviously not ideal, but I'm only here for a short time, so it didn't make sense at this moment to invest in a water distiller. But I really feel the power of it. I feel the power in the taste, and it's best to drink a gallon a day. Another thing about distilled waters is rainwater is distilled water, coconut water is distilled water, and the power of fruit. Like, if you eat enough fruit, then you don't actually need